This is the March 31st, 2026 regular meeting of the Chatham County Savannah Metropolitan Planning Commission.
The Chatham County Savannah Metropolitan Planning Commission consists of Mr. Travis Coles, Chairman, Mr. Tom Wildwoody, Vice Chairman, Ms. Lorraine Bowles, Secretary, Mr. Jeff Nortrica, Treasurer. Board members include Mr. Dwayne Stevens, Mr. Joseph Irvine, Ms. Amanda Wilson, Ms. Karen Jarrett, Ms. Corinne Ross, Ms. Tracy Amick, Mr. Michael Kegler, Mr. Jay Melder, Mr. Joseph Welch, and Mr. Stephen Plunk. The MPC Executive Director is Melanie Wilson.
Welcome. The March 31st regular meeting of the Chatham County Savannah Metropolitan Planning Commission will now come to order. We will pause for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Yes. For staff, petitioners, and members of the public who are participating, our procedures will be as follows. The agenda is broken down into several parts. First, notices, proclamations, and acknowledgments. Next, the consent agenda, which consists of items for which the applicant is in agreement with the staff recommendation and there are no known objections. This will be followed by regular business, old business, and adjournment. For each agenda item on regular business, the staff will make a presentation. The staff presentation will then be followed by a presentation from the petitioner, should they elect to do so. The petitioner will be allotted a time frame of no more than 20 minutes. The board may then ask questions of the petitioner or staff for clarification. Afterward, the floor will be open for public comment. If you wish to comment on the item that the board is considering at that time, members of the public that are here in person must fill out a blue speaker card and give it to staff. If you are participating virtually, use the raise your hand feature on your screen. Do not use the feature until the item you wish to comment on has been considered. At the appropriate time, you'll be recognized and staff will unmute your microphone at the end of your allotted time as determined by the chair. Your microphone will be muted and the chair will recognize the next speaker. The total public comment time will be less than or equivalent to the petitioner's presentation time. Therefore, for those participating online, it is important that you use the raise your hand feature during the hearing on that item if you wish to speak on a petition. Once the floor is closed for public comment on a petition, no additional public speakers will be allowed. If you are not certain you wish to speak, still use the raise your hand feature, or if in person, fill out a blue speaker card. You'll have the option to decline when your name is called. After public comment, the petitioner will have the opportunity for rebuttal and then address any additional needed questions by the board. Finally, the board will take action. The first order of business is the approval of the agenda.
Bowles, motion to approve agenda.
Irvin, second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, voice vote. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have notices, proclamations, and acknowledgments, of which we do not have any. Then after that, we have items requested to be removed from the final agenda, which is the map amendment at Fort Argyle Road.
Bowles, motion to approve items to be removed.
Why would he second?
Do a voice vote for that as well. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. After that, we have items requested to be withdrawn. Master plan for wireless tower facility equipment upgrade.
Bowles, motion to approve items to be withdrawn.
Why would he second?
It's been properly moved and seconded. We'll do a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which consists of 4 items: the approval of the January 27, 2026 MPC meeting minutes, the approval of the February 17, 2026 MPC meeting minutes, major subdivision at Hopeton Landing East, 600 Little Neck Road, and major subdivision 200 Eastern Wharf Avenue, parcel C1A1.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Bowles, Bowles, second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. We'll do a voice vote on that as well. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. There is no old business, so we'll move right into regular business. Number 7, GDP with variance at 1028 Bonaventure Road and 2001 Ohio Avenue.
That side. Got it. Thank you. Ken Gorski, Senior Planner for MPC, presenting. All right. Our first item this morning, or afternoon, my bad, is 1028 Bonaventure Road and 2001 Ohio Avenue. This is a GDP with variance, a minor subdivision to create 2 non-conforming lots from one parcel that currently has 2 legal but non-conforming structures on it. The overall purpose of this GDP is to divide an existing 9,364 square foot parcel containing 2 non-conforming structures into 2 parcels with 1 structure per parcel. The history on this particular piece of land is that 1028 Bonaventure has a former auto repair shop that was built on or around 1923. There is a building at 2001 Ohio Avenue that is a residence that was built around the 1940s. As such, both of these structures predate the current zoning and the ordinances. The zoning issues at hand here are that both structures are already non-compliant based upon the building setbacks and the fact that one parcel has 2 primary use buildings. RSF 6 zoning requires a minimum lot area of 6,000 square feet for new subdivision lots, which neither of these will meet. And also RSF by definition in the zoning ordinance stands for single-family residential, which is at odds with the commercial building that is currently facing Bonaventure Road. The required lot area for RSF 6 is 6,000 square feet per parcel. As proposed for this subdivision, Lot A, which is in this case labeled as 1028 Bonaventure, would be 5,144 square feet. And proposed Lot B, which is at 2001 Ohio, would be 4,207 square feet, both of which are less than the 6,000 square foot required. The governing ordinance on this is section 8-2023.b, and that's within the subdivision regulations. The MPC may approve a proposed lot that does not meet minimum standards upon a finding that the substandard lot can accommodate the intended use and purpose without adversely affecting either the property owner, the adjoining neighbors, or Chatham County in general. And we also have 2 images here on the slide of the 2 existing properties. The staff recommendation on this is that we recommend approval of the proposed subdivision to permit the creation of 2 single-family home parcels within this RSF 6 zoning district with the following conditions. The prior non-conforming use of the commercial structure shall not be reestablished. Both new parcels must be residential use. In this case, introducing a commercial use into an established residential neighborhood is contrary not only to the zoning, but it would disrupt the fabric of the community. And then in terms of some minor cleanup issues, condition number 2 is that all inaccurate labels, annotations, and building envelopes that are shown on the plat as submitted need to be updated and corrected prior to resubmission to the MPC staff for approval. And then condition number 3 is that the resubmitted plat shall reflect the hearing date and case number of MPC's decision that is taking place today. Are there any questions for staff?
Is a petitioner here to speak? Yes. If we may have him or them step forward. State your name for the record, and you have 20 minutes.
Thank you. Is that where you'd like to be? Feel free.
That's just fine, yeah. I mean, I don't think we have much to add. The building was derelict when we purchased it, and it's an interesting structure.
Please state your name for the record.
I'm Tom Stevenson,
Thank you.
April Brooks.
and we did, they had a buried gas tank, and we had that removed, and we felt that the building deserved to be preserved and converted to contemporary usage, making it into a single-family residence, and that's what we've been working for.
Yeah, we're not developers. We have no other intent. We live in the next neighborhood over. It's been a dump site, a place for lots of trash and dumping, and so even working on the other building, like we've cleaned up 3 dumpsters full of stuff already, and just trying to make that space habitable. The residences, the people that live around it do not want a commercial building. It's a residential neighborhood. So we're just trying to honor the community, provide a cleaned up residential space, and a unique building.
All right.
Thank you.
Any questions for petitioner? I have a question. In the Google Maps, it shows what appears to be a condemned sign on the front of the commercial building. Is that being worked through? Like,
So we'd got a permit for doing this, and then we were stopped. This is what led us to this whole situation here today, is that we tried to get it permitted through the city, and we had our contractor pull those permits out, and at that point, we had the condemned sign, then the permits were retracted.
Yeah, lots of departments have contacted us on like cleaning it up and staying on it, and like we're working, but we can't do anything. So it's like going through this process with the city of Savannah is very eye-opening, very confusing, and people helpful along the way. So we've made it this far, and we're very happy that we can actually work with the city as just being normal citizens. So that's where.
so the intention is to keep the existing structure that's there and renovate
No
it?
changes to the existing structure.
Gotcha.
No additions.
Okay. I've only got one speaker card in there online, so if you guys are...
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So Max Polk, you have 3 minutes. Wait, you're here in person. I'm sorry. I thought you were online. Go ahead. State your name for the record, sir.
Yes, Max Polk. I own about 3 houses down from the property. I had to tolerate many, many years of Smitty being there. That was terrible. As I understand, I've been talking to the owners prior to this meeting, and they're telling me that, we're going to have, they're going to, have 2 separate lots, and you're going to have they're going to keep the existing house on one of them, and the gas station is going to be converted into a residential property. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but I guess all I can say is those houses in there are really small. My house is really small. There's room for a house, there's room for a car. Anyway, Smitty's was a big problem with cars parked everywhere. You couldn't get through there. I think one of them is planning to be, maybe after they get this done, a rental property. I don't know how many folks will be there renting the property, but anyway, I'm just saying I don't want an issue with cars. I understand they want to divide the property and make 2 houses there, and I assume that they'll get permission to retrofit that gas station to y'all's approval or somebody's approval. I don't know if anybody's going to submit plans on what they plan to do, but I don't know what they're going to do, but they say they're going to reuse the gas station and then make a house out of it. So I guess my concern is, I just don't want a bunch of cars sitting around. I don't want a bunch of people hanging out. That's not what this neighborhood's about. So, no, that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Polk. I don't have any other speaker cards here. I don't think we've got anybody online. So if the petitioner would like to come up and answer or rebut the one public comment there.
I absolutely agree that I don't want a lot of cars parked there. I want it to be, it'll make a small residence for a single family. There's off-street parking there right in front. I have reached out to all the people in the immediate, like the houses surrounding it, and they've all had support. I sent them all an opportunity to either mail something in that said, yes, they want to have this converted to a residence, or no, they did not. And I don't know if you have any of the documentation for that, but I feel like very much that we are committed to the neighborhood. It's where we take our evening walks. It is that, yeah, I think that it's maintaining our neighborhoods is of great importance to me in Savannah. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
All right, any board discussion? The only thing I would say is I think there's going to be far fewer cars than there were in that one image that we saw when it was being operated as a garage, so that's some positive. All right, if there's no more discussion, I'll open the floor for a motion.
Urban to approve staff's recommendation
Bose,
with
second.
special conditions 1, 2, and 3.
Bose, second.
Thank you, it's been properly moved and second. We'll go to the vote. Ms. Amick?
Yes.
Ms. Bowles?
Yes.
Mr. Urban?
Yes.
Ms. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Kakler?
Yes.
Mr. Melder?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Plunk?
Yes.
Mr. Welsh?
Yes.
Mr. Wywitty?
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we will move on to item number 8, GDP with variance at 409 Orchard Street.
Once again, Ken Gorski for the MPC. What we have here for 409 Orchard Street is a GDP with variance. The request is to create 4 new townhomes, each with an ADU, and the variance they're requesting are related to size regulations. You can see here on the image that this is the aerial view of the location in the corridor between MLK and Montgomery Street. Petitioner requests MPC approval of a general development plan with variance for 4 new townhomes, each with an ADU at the intersection of Martin Luther King and Orchard Street. Due to the lot size and proposed configuration, the applicant is requesting variances and relief from the following zoning ordinance development standards. First is a variance to reduce the minimum lot width from 18 foot to 17 foot per townhome unit for each of the 4 proposed townhome units. The second variance is a request for relief from the maximum allowable ADU footprint, percentage, and living area. Per ordinance section 8.7.4D, the building footprint of the accessory dwelling unit shall be a maximum of 40% of the building footprint of the principal dwelling unit and not to exceed 700 square feet. The requested variance would increase the maximum building footprint to 55% of the principal dwelling unit, and the allowable ADU living area would increase from 280 square feet to 385 square feet for each of the 4 proposed ADUs. Here we have a chart and analysis of the TC2 zoning standards that apply to this parcel. Basically what we have done is we have highlighted the areas that are the requested variances, and it is for the allowable width for the townhome units, and then the percentage down here for the ADU. Here's a diagram of their proposed general development plan. It is 4 townhomes that would face along Martin Luther King. There's a courtyard in between, and then a garage with an ADU above it on the back that is accessible from a new 22-foot private lane. And that would be accessible off of Orchard. In terms of the future land use and the economic development zone, the current zoning and future land use, the parcel is in TC2, and townhomes are an allowable use for that zoning. The future land use map shows that this area is intended to be traditional commercial development. So as such, the development plan is consistent with both the current zoning and the desired future land use. The parcel is also within Jackson Park, which is along the urban redevelopment plan for the MLK Boulevard and Montgomery Street corridor. This general development plan is consistent with the goals to emphasize smaller lots and to increase the amount, diversity, and affordability of traditional housing units. These proposed townhomes will address the desired scale and residential needs while also reestablishing the streetscape character at the corner of MLK and Orchard Street. Final discussion points. The general development plan complies with the TC2 zoning, except for the 2 requested variances. These variances seem reasonable and rational for the project of this scale and scope, given the limitations of this small urban infill corner lot. Decreasing the minimum townhouse width from 18 foot to 17 foot as requested will not significantly impact the overall footprint or functionality of that principal residence. Increasing the allowable footprint percentage and living area of the ADUs does not compromise any other regulation and results in a more functional size to satisfy the desire and need for more diverse and affordable housing options. Beyond the basic compliance requirements for zoning, this concept coincides with the future land use map and the goals of the economic development zone in which it resides. MPC staff recommends approval of this GDP with the requested variances to reduce the minimum lot width per townhome from 18 foot to 17 foot as requested by the applicant. And then the second variant would be the relief from the maximum allowable ADU footprint percentage, increasing that from 40% to 55% of the principal dwelling unit, and then the allowable maximum ADU square footage would thus increase from the 280 square foot to 385 square feet. Are there any questions?
Is the petitioner here to present? Please step forward, state your name, and you've got 20 minutes.
Good afternoon. My name is Douglas Kaufman. I'm the petitioner. And I have Eric Brown here, which is my architect on record for the property. I guess we recommend what the MPC recommends for approval. As I did my research for this property, there are several points that I'd just like to make available to the board. Everything from, I think you heard it was in the economic zone for the city of Savannah. It's also in the MLK Montgomery corridor. Originally, when I bought the lot, I turned it into a food court for food trucks. That kind of bombed, as opposed to the one that happened over just up the street for the Starland yard. So I think it was ahead of my time. Nobody wanted to come down there and park and eat food down there, so it's just been kind of sitting lagging for the last couple of years. And the gentleman who bought and turned the church next door into housing as opposed to commercial space also promulgated turning my lot also into residential. For the variances that we're looking for, it comes out to 6 inches per unit. If you're going from 18 down to 17 for 4 units, it comes out to 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches, and there's your 2 feet. And then for the ADUs, to make it something that's accessible and usable by somebody, because I think it was the original was 285 or something. It was tiny. It was a cracker box. So this is going to at least make it livable for one person to live there. And being so close to where SCAD is, you're going to have potentially mostly students literally walking to class less than a block away, assuming they go to either of those classrooms. And let me see. So as far as the mayor coming on, seeing every time that he comes on saying that the city of Savannah downtown needs more affordable housing, that certainly would be something that the ADUs provides. Because small individual units for people that would be able to afford something that's small like that in that area downtown. That's pretty much it. Do you have any questions?
Any questions from the board?
Mr. Chairman, I do have a question.
Yes, Mr. Melder.
I received a lot of concerns from community leaders in and around the neighborhood the last several days, concerned about density, concerned about parking. Obviously, I think an improvement in a residential development on that parking lot is much better than the activities that are happening there now. My understanding is by right, you'd be able to do 3 units with 3 ADUs, is that correct?
Correct. Actually, I could do 16 units there if I had 16 parking spaces. That's by your zoning.
Right.
Just to say that I can do up to 16.
But have you done a design where you've got 16 parking spaces there?
I did for 8.
I think parking is the constraint.
Yes.
Correct. And I think parking is going to come up as a concern as we probably hear from some community members that are here today. And I just wanted to understand the viability of your development for a by right. If you look at it, you're proposing four units with 4 corresponding ADUs above garages, which park 1 vehicle per unit, not
Yes.
one, and the ADUs don't require parking. If that variance wasn't approved, would you build 3 units plus 3 ADUs with 3 corresponding parking spots?
You're looking at more money. So just to
That's
say
right.
it's no longer affordable because now the units are going to be bigger to fill in
Sure.
space.
Yeah.
So now you have a not as affordable a unit.
That's
And there
right.
used to actually be 5 single-family homes on that same dimension
Understood.
when I first bought the land.
Okay.
So I mean, yes, you're correct, but at the same time that there was 5, and so actually downgrading it to 4 would seem appropriate, but I understand.
No, I'm just trying to get a sense of where the feasibility is on your projects here.
Yeah.
And we did, Eric Brown, I'm a local architect here. We did look with Douglas here of doing a small apartment building, and he's, I think, 16 units is the density cap?
Max you can do.
We can't get 16 on there, but I think we had close to 8. So that's his other alternative. And, we thought this was a better fit for what the neighborhood maybe wants and needs, rather than a small little apartment building.
Okay, thank you.
It's also on a bus line, so certainly people could use the bus to get downtown.
Any other questions from the board? All right, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Bowles.
Just for clarity, so your alternative is a smaller apartment building. I think the question was whether it's economically feasible for what is available to you by right. So 3 and 3. Is that something you've considered?
Is it feasible as far as,
Economically feasible for 3 units and with 3 ADU?
it just becomes more expensive? And so therefore, you're going to pass that down to potential renters.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions from the board? All right, well, thank you, sir. We will move into the public comment section. Online, we have Mayor Pro Tem Dr. Estella Shabazz. Dr. Shabazz, you have 3 minutes. Good afternoon. Okay, thank you. Dr. Shabazz was just saying that she's here for her constituents and she's present on the call. Next, we have Altheria Maynard. Please state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Hello, everybody. I'm Altheria Maynard. I'm president of Kane Jackson Park Neighborhood Association, and we oppose the variance, and we also oppose 4 townhomes and 4 ADU units on that small lot. It does not fit in our footprint of our community. There will not be enough green space, and parking is an issue. On Orchard Street, it's a 2-lane street, but on the side of the Salvation Army, they have a sign saying no parking. And adding those units is going to cause more traffic issues for us and for our community. And I oppose it, and the residents within my community also oppose. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Marquita McNeil.
Good afternoon. My name is Marquita McNeil. I'm at 803 West 47th Street. I have some questions here. The ADUs, they're nice and they're what's acceptable, but it makes a congested looking appearance. And that street has visibility from Montgomery Street and MLK. And we don't need a congested area down there, okay? The parking will be disastrous because they will begin to park on Orchard Street, and that street barely can handle 2 cars, you know, going down the street. So they're going to probably end up over parking. And the people in the ADU, it says that they had some green space. On here it says something about, wait a minute, let me see. The people who live in the ADUs, they don't have any space. Oh, here, it says ADU rear yard. So where is their rear yard?
It's the courtyard between the primary structure.
So
and the
that
ADU.
means the people who are in the townhouse and the people who are in the ADU must all agree. And we know with human beings that does not always happen. So another thing is, where the people in the ADU, where do they access their unit? I don't see any doors on this plan. So I don't see any doors. Maybe somebody can quickly.
Ma'am, we'll let the petitioner address that when he has his rebuttal time.
Oh, okay then. Okay, so that's my concern. Okay, as everybody mentioned, parking will be an eyesore. That area is really so crowded. That lot is a very small lot, and there's a lot of people who are involved in this, the townhouse as well as the ADU. That's quite a number of people for that small lot. As I mentioned before, no green space. Okay. Okay, and also, as we talked about parking, these people will likely park on MLK. And that's not, that doesn't look good. You have a major thoroughfare, and then you have all this congested parking. It takes away from our community, from the appearance of our community. Nobody likes that. We prefer and we promote off-street parking, and there's not enough off-street parking.
Thank you, Ms. McNeil. That is your time.
Okay. And again, I'm not in agreements with the variance, even though it's 6 feet for the frontage, we're not in agreement with that. It'll compact that area too much, and it won't be as attractive as it could be. 4 units is not attractive. 3 is acceptable.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Next up, we have Dr. Amir Touré.
Good afternoon, Dr. Amir Jamal Touré, and I'm on the board for Can Park Jackson Park Neighborhood Association. So I have to go back, and so you all heard some of the concerns of others. I'll bring some other things up. What happened in spring of 2020, and this is when the pandemic just occurred, we were on with our, at that time, County Commissioner, that's Tanya Milton, and we discussed about historic districts and conservation districts. And so we understood the importance at that time that we need to have our neighborhood, Can Park Jackson Park, a part of that. So we fast forward, and so what happened, we did not lose that same desire in 2020, that even this year right here, in February, we had Chairman Chester Ellis at our neighborhood association, and we discussed about the process for us now to get a designation with regard to the conservation districts, because we want to maintain the character of the neighborhood and of the community. He discussed with us what needed to be done, along with some other things. In addition, the chairman then began to point out people to assist us in that. We also have individuals from the city of Savannah there also. And so that's what we're looking at. We're looking at preserving the neighborhood and having the same protections that we see in Ardsley Park, Ardmore, Edgemere, and also Chatham Crescent and other neighborhoods. We are not opposed to affordable housing. We understand there's a dearth of affordable housing. And Cannon Park, Jackson Park, we have seen where individuals are now charging exorbitant rents in the neighborhood. We have a concern about that. What occurred for us in the fall of last year, there are two developers who want to come and do something on 44th Street. They came to the neighborhood association meeting and sat down with us to find out our thoughts and our sentiments. We would have loved, and I'm saying myself, we would have loved to have had that same type of consideration with regard to this development right here, for us now to have a meeting of the minds. There's been no meeting of the minds with regards to that, and that's why we oppose it with regards to the variance. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have one more speaker card. Kelly's Hughes online. Ms. Hughes, if you're there, you have 3 minutes. Please state your name for the record. Hello? Can you speak up? You there? She's unmuted. Ms. Hughes, are you there? Ms. Hughes, if you're there, we cannot hear you here in the hearing room.
Maybe while she waits, I have a question for the neighborhood president.
Go ahead, Mr. Cohen.
For the President Association, I believe you heard the testimony from the petitioners. Yeah, if you can come back up to the mic. Would you, speaking on behalf of your members, of course, to the best of your ability, if you had before you kind of the proposal that you see here today for 4 units and 4 ADUs with the variance, or on the other hand, the apartment building that they said they could do by right that has around 8 units in a small apartment building. What do you think you and your members would prefer, but if it was between those two options?
I think that we would prefer something that is less congested and something that would attract people within our neighborhood. We promote single-family homes basically in our neighborhood. I know our houses are not million-dollar houses, but we still take pride in our community. We want people to come to us and tell us what they expect so that they know what our expectations are. But that lot is so small, 4 units, 700 feet for a townhome, that's small. I don't know what he's charging, and I don't know whether that would be enough for 2 people to live in that unit. But there's only 1 parking space. And as I drive around my community, I see a lot of people parking on the streets because they don't have garages. And that adds to the congestion. And going up and down Orchard Street is almost a thoroughfare. And we just don't want that.
Understood. And if I could ask, Ms. Maynard, how are you? Similarly along the same lines, think to allow, and this is going to be a question first from Ms. Wilson, to allow an ADU, it has to be attached to the unit, correct? So that would have to be some type of, the ADU is attached to the unit, it cannot be rented separately and apart.
Basically, so, and this is for the applicant too, just so that you have some understanding, if the applicant, ADUs primarily were created so that single-family residents can add an accessory dwelling unit to their property, whether it's a new build, as them being the primary principal person that lives there with an accessory unit. That's why it's an accessory dwelling unit. Mm-hmm. So right now, by right, he could do. He indicated up to 8. That's going to depend on what happens if he submits plans to show that, but you could get a different design that fits better within the neighborhood. So that's option 1. 2, by right, he could do 6 units where you'd have a bigger lot. It would still be a separate lot. So you would have a house up front and an ADU in the back, which could be a garage. So at that point, there would probably be enough technically to possibly park 2 cars with a live-in on the second floor. So those are kind of like the options that, from what I've seen from looking at the size of that lot, that they have. But I just want to make it very clear, when someone's asking for an ADU, you are talking about a product that is sold as a single-family house with an ADU or with an apartment or a garage apartment in the back, and that usually the first floor of that has parking and somebody's living upstairs on the second floor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Kaufman did come by when he wanted to do his entertainment. He came to our neighborhood association, but he did not bother to come to the neighborhood association with this project.
Yes, ma'am. And I think the question is still for Ms. Maynard and Ms. McNeil and Dr. Torre. I think the concern that I have here is denying the variance does not deny development on the parcel. And the property owner could develop many things by right there, multifamily apartment buildings. They could build, 3 units with 3 ADUs per my reading, et cetera. And I think what we have the opportunity to do when they come before a variance is to help make sure that they are communicating with the neighborhood, and I think Dr. Torre put it to kind of come to a meeting of the mind. So I think the issue for us, the concern that I'd like to sort out today is if we deny the variance, then there's no more opportunity for the community to engage with the developer necessarily on what happens to that property if they're just going to move forward by right. If the community association feels like there might be some, if they can learn more about the project, they may be willing to hear about what these variances mean for the community and what a 4 townhouse with 4 ADUs actually means for Can Park, for MLK, for the surrounding neighborhoods, and are open to hearing about that, then I'd be open to, if the petitioner is open to it, postponing this to where they can meet with Can Park, meet with other neighbors and discuss that. If not, and we move forward with either an approval or a denial, then that opportunity to engage and have better understanding or come to a meeting of the minds disappear. So I just want to kind of ask your opinion about how you would like to move forward.
I would like to have Mr. Kaufman come and talk to the neighborhood board.
Okay.
Is that acceptable to you all?
We have gotten kind of out of order here. We were still in the public comment phase. We have not allowed the
Well, I
petitioner.
haven't made a motion, Mr. Chairman.
I understand.
Just a question.
We have not allowed the petitioner to come up and rebut the public comment
Yes, sir.
yet. We were still waiting to see if Ms. Hughes was online. No?
We do not have any activity from her
Okay,
side.
so let's put the horse back in front of the cart and bring the petitioner back up to rebut the public comment, and then we can move into questioning.
Ms. DeLo says that she can hear us, and I told her, she may be able, I don't know.
Is she on the phone with
Yeah,
you?
she's still there, yes.
If she's on the phone with you, we've done this before, can we put her to the microphone?
Well, we can put it on speakerphone.
Yep.
Can we put his phone to the microphone?
Are we able to do that? Can you put her on speaker and bring her to the microphone, sir?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. State your name.
Yes, hi. Do they need me to?
State your name.
Okay. This is Khalees Hughes. I'm also on the neighborhood association with part of Can Park, Can Jackson Park. So my concerns are, I do agree with Dr. Torre and Ms. Atheria to see if we can just come to the table to see what we can do to make this better. But again, you have scared parking on the other side and then putting these apartments and AUDs right here, that's going to really make it difficult because that street is so narrow. So if we can just kind of look at some other options, I think that the neighbors would be more receptive to that. But again, it's just the fact that that is a narrow street and they're putting the parking on MLK. It's already difficult to see, especially when you have so many parking with SCAD parks on that side of the street to the school. It's really difficult to see when you're trying to come out from the stop sign. So with all that in consideration, maybe we can look at some other options.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I think that wraps up the public comment. So if the petitioner would like to step forward and answer or rebut any of the public testimony, please do so.
Thank you. I've got a couple things to throw out there, and then I'll let Douglas say something. He's actually got, if you've been out there, he's got a huge curb cut right now on MLK. And what we're doing is proposing to close that curb cut to pick up an additional 2 on-street parking spaces, as well as continue the sidewalk, continue the street trees, continue kind of stitching back the urban fabric of that part of the neighborhood, which is per the long-term plans, which is why the planning staff, again, recommended approval on this. So that's the one thing. And then the second part is Douglas chose to try and do a more affordable unit because he wants to. I do this for a living every day, and some of this is just basic math. If Douglas does 3 larger townhouses, they're going to be close to 2,000 square foot each, with a 2-car garage and an ADU above it. What do you guys think that's going to sell for here? So currently, Douglas is trying to do something more affordable, say a 1,400 square foot 2-bedroom townhouse with a 1-car garage and a small ADU guest room, or maybe a 3rd bedroom above it. Now, what's that going to cost? Right? So I think understanding that, he's asking to do something that he thinks the community's asking for, which is affordable housing. If he does 3 units, he's going to probably make more money. So he's trying to do what what he feels the community's doing, and I'm proud of him for trying that.
The only other thing I can say is, again, there used to be 5 single-family homes there. So 5 single-family homes that nobody seemed to have a problem with at the time. We knocked all those down to make the city made me have 1 single-family lot, or 1 single lot for the commercial property. And again, it's zoned that I could do commercial again. Unfortunately, because of the size of that, you're going to have a very small building if it's a commercial building, because you're going to have parking for that commercial. But again, that's going to be commercial and not residential. And every time I, show on the TV, it's somebody about downtown needing more affordable housing. So I think that this is definitely going to help the housing situation. Blocking off one of the curb cuts will certainly add a couple more parking spaces on MLK. And that part of MLK, unlike the very northern part of MLK, is not nearly as congested. Not to say that 10, 20 years from now it won't be the same, but it's certainly not that way now.
Thank you, sir. Are there any? Yes, Mr. Murdoch.
A few questions. So, no question that everybody here understands the math, and I know that everybody who came from the community to raise concerns understands the math as well. I want to also note that affordable housing is an actual term and a definition that means affordability at a specific level of area median income. And I don't believe what you're proposing here is affordable housing.
Correct.
I do understand that by creating more units, the the cost of construction per unit is going down, therefore the end user has, the cost to the end user is going to be less with more units than with fewer units. And I think we understand that math. We understand that math. But I don't want, because I think sometimes we get into a circle where we're using the term affordable housing, and people know that it's not, quote, affordable housing, which is a program and has a regime
That's
and
an excellent
administration behind it. So let's use the right term. But absolutely, you know, like, we understand the math. The more units we produce at the same cost of construction, the less that unit is going to be for the end user, whether it's rented or purchased. Understood. Thank you. And I'll also just go back to, it seems like, sir, that you had a good track record with working with the community on your plan for the commercial district and the food truck lot, which you said didn't work out well. Sorry to hear that. But maybe there's an opportunity for you again to work with the community here and show them a little more of your vision about what this 4 and 4 might mean. Speaking from city ordinances and city policies, I think you're proposing something that's well in line with what the mayor and council have approved in terms of what we want to see in that development. But it's also important that the community gets a chance to kind of come together on that as well. So if that's something that you're open to, it would be my suggestion. I'm not making a motion, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Melder. Ms. Bowles.
And in addition to that, I hate to put Ms. Maynard and the board and residents in a position where they are speaking for their community, not having had an opportunity to meet with you about this project. So I would also make the same suggestion that you go back and try to have a meeting of the minds. It's not a requirement that you come to a meeting of the minds, but it certainly is a better look if you give the neighborhood an opportunity to come to a meeting of the minds. And just to piggyback on what was said already, I'm not hearing affordable housing because I heard SCAD rentals, I heard SCAD students, I heard SCAD parking, and in my mind, that's not reading as affordable. And so again, if it really is affordable housing for the community, let them get an opportunity to speak to that, and then come back for us to vote.
Any other questions from the board? Go ahead.
Am I correct in that this is 0.17 acre, this land? That's what it looked like on your application.
It's 100 by 70, roughly. So that'd be 7,000 square feet, whatever that comes out to.
I'm sorry, it's 0.14 acre. Okay.
Any other questions?
Make a motion?
All right, floor is open for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we table this to let the community, the neighbors get with the developer, come to terms on what they would like to see and what they can agree on. Their time is valuable as well, and that's their neighborhood. Yesterday was yesterday, tomorrow's tomorrow, and I want them to be happy as well as I want you, sir, to be happy. So we can put this off to the next meeting.
So continue to the
Next meeting. Make a motion, continue to the next meeting.
And the date on that meeting is
April 21st.
21st, all right, thank you.
Bowles, second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. We will take vote. Ms. Amick?
Yes.
Ms. Bowles?
Yes.
Mr. Irvin?
Yes.
Ms. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Kegler?
Yes.
Mr. Melder?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Plunk?
Yes.
Mr. Welsh?
Yes.
Mr. Wywitty?
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion carries. We will hear this again at the 21st of April.
Thank you.
Thank you. And just for clarity, please do meet with the neighborhood because that is the point of this continuance, which I see is already happening. So thank you very much. All right, we will move on. We will move on to item number 9, GDP with variance at 11965 Apache Avenue and 1029 Shawnee Street. If you folks don't mind taking that out into the lobby area so we can continue with the meeting. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and the members of the board. I'm Subhashi Karunaratna, a planner from MPC. I'll be presenting the staff findings and recommendations for 11965 Apache Avenue and 1029 Shawnee Street. Here, the petitioner is requesting 3 variances for a general development plan in association with a minor subdivision in the RMF 2 to 25 zoning district. On this image, you can see the subject properties pointed out here, and this is to give you the context of where the property is located. Running down here in the middle of the picture is Abercorn, and over here, sorry, I just realized my pointer is not working. So this is Abercorn, and this right here is Georgia Southern Armstrong campus, and you can see that all around the subject properties, there are multiple multifamily housing and commercial development happening. So this area is intense in the use and its zoning. And when we look at the future land use map, it says that it's the flume designation is residential general. So the proposal here is concurrent with the flume map as well, because they are trying to subdivide this existing lot, which is marked with the green line, into 2, and build 6 more apartment buildings, which is consistent with the flume map, as I mentioned. So when you look at this property marked with the yellow line, that was here in front of this board and the city council for rezoning last year from office institutional transition to the RMF 225. So now they are here for the construction phase. They are proposing 3 apartment buildings in the Apache Avenue property, as you can see here, and the parking for that is provided right here in the back. And this property will be subdivided as shown in this image, and they're proposing 3 more apartment buildings in this corner, and they're gonna use the existing parking from these apartments for parking for these 2 buildings, and there will be more parking provided in this corner of the new subdivided lot. So when you look at the areas, the newly subdivided lot marked with this blue portion will have 5.78 acres, and the purple portion would have 1.16 acres, and this yellow would have 1.45. And the number of units in this lot will be 36, and they're going to provide 42 parking spaces. And in the purple portion, they're proposing 29 units and 42 parking spaces, and the existing apartments have 144 units and 196 parking spaces. So there are no parking issues. What they are requesting is just setbacks. And also, I would like to mention that the existing apartments would have an access easement through the Apache Avenue property and this new subdividing lot. So these are the 3 variances. The first one is a front building setback from 25 feet to 15 feet along the Apache Avenue. And the second request is for a parking lot setback from 5 feet to 0 feet, because they're putting the new property line separating the existing parking into 2. So they're cutting across the parking lot. So for that, they need 0 feet reduction. And this is the third variance, which is for a setback from for the accessory structures from 10 feet to 5 feet. On either side of that property line, there will be a pickleball court, which is a new addition on this side, and there's a pool, which is existing already. So MPC staff finds that the subdivision would create irregular shaped lots, but this is based on the petitioner's chosen design. However, the chosen design reflects a reasonable effort to put the maximum density allowed in the 225 zoning district, because they're going all the way to the peak of the units that they can fit in the area. And also, because of that reason, these three variance reliefs are required for this construction. And based on these findings, we are recommending approval for the three variance requests for the setbacks. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Is the petitioner here to present? Please state your name for the record, and you have 20 minutes.
My name is Tina Hill, and I am representing the JARS Management who owns the property. And we have online our engineer who's going to be doing the speaking, Mr. Andrew Lewis with AML Engineering and Development Services.
Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Lewis. Just checking to see if you can hear me.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Just want to say, first off, thank you very much for hearing our variance request today, and thank you very much to staff for preparing that very thorough report. There's not leave a lot for us to discuss, just other than Joey Jenkins with the ownership group is also here online, as well as Tina and myself. And we just respectfully request approval of these minor code variations associated with the expansion of this existing apartment development. The reason is because, if we work with staff going through the pre-application process to best utilize this property in a way and manner that is consistent with the existing development, we identified these variances, and I believe staff covers every detail that we could mention here, so I don't want to delay anything else on this other than if you have any questions, we would be happy to answer. Thanks.
Thank you. Any questions for the petitioner from the board?
I've got one.
Ms. Jarrett?
I'm just curious why we're subdividing the property and not recombining the property.
This is something that Joey may be able to answer better than I can, but just in my attempt is that basically you have separate ownership amongst these properties for the existing development as opposed to the new development. And then the standalone lot there on Apache is separate as well and has to remain separate just for ownership reasons. So that's the reason for this irregular lot that we're creating out of the existing lot. It would make more sense, like you said, to just combine and go forward, but in this case, due to the separate ownerships, we had to create.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
This is Joey Chapin. If you don't mind me adding another sentence or two on that.
I'm sorry?
Can you hear me okay? This is Joey Chapin. If you don't mind me adding
Yes, yeah, that's fine.
It's driven by ownership, as you mentioned, but it is largely driven by the lender, Fannie Mae, on the existing, the parcel that includes existing units. As we can't do any major construction on any of what they consider their collateral, which would be the existing parcel. So we needed to divide that portion out so we can complete that development. And then the long-term vision would be when that existing one matures to recombine all the parcels. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you. Any other questions? All right, I don't have any public speaker cards here. We're up for discussion or a motion.
Move to approve staff recommendation.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. We'll take it to a vote. Ms. Amick?
Yes.
Ms. Bowles?
Yes.
Mr. Irvin?
Yes.
Ms. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Kegler?
Yes.
Mr. Melder?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Blunt?
Yes.
Mr. Welsh?
Yes.
Mr. Whitewoody?
Yes.
And I too vote yes. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
very much.
All right, we'll move on to number 10, text amendment, Article 8, Section 8.7.23, outdoor vending unit in OI, OIE, and BN zoning districts.
Ken Gorski again for the MPC. This is a first hearing for a text amendment regarding outdoor vending machines. The request on this is to expand the number of allowable zoning districts for outdoor vending units to include OIE and BN zoning districts. Just as a point of comment for the council and also for the public, this is intended to be a informational presentation and a concept for discussion, and then the item will be brought back on a separate meeting for action and revisions.
So for clarity for the public, no votes will be taken today on this matter.
That is correct, sir.
Thank you.
This is the specific request from the applicant in this particular circumstance. A petition to amend Article 8, Section 8.7.23, outdoor vending units of 25 square feet or greater, to expand the number of allowable zoning districts to include office and institutional expanded, also known as OIE, and business neighborhood, abbreviated as BN. These are the specific sections that they are requesting amendments to, and we will go into those in greater detail in a second. I would also like to state at this moment that what we're going to do here is going to be an overview and highlights of the amendment. We are not going to necessarily go line by line or word by word. And then, of course, if there are questions from either anyone on the council, we can go into greater detail as needed. Also, there's much greater detail and rationale that is explained in the entirety of the report, which has also been already provided to the council and is available online to the public.
Sorry to make this correction, but we're not council, we're the board. I just want to make sure that, just for clarity's sake, we are not city council.
Sorry, my mistake. All right, getting into the meat of this then. While the applicant has made a request for one specific ordinance, the zoning administrator and MPC staff are actually providing revised language for both sections 8.7.22 and 8.7.23, since both pertain to outdoor vending machines, and they basically address similar topics. For simplicity of this review, the text that is going to be removed is going to be identified and bracketed in red and stricken through, as you can see on the display. And then any new language or text that has been added will be shown and highlighted in blue. So on this first section here, you can see that the sections in red we are simply clarifying and simplifying some of the language, things that might be redundant, such as pointing out things that are allowable or not allowable within the ordinance. And then we are adding some clarifications. To give an example of this, this item 2, it would end up reading outdoor vending machines not located immediately adjacent to the principal building shall be shielded from vehicles by bollards or similar devices. And generally, the point is there to clean up the language and then also to add the concept of pedestrian protection and safety measures. Moving down, within a historic district, we would like to note that any outdoor vending machines of this type, and I will emphasize that these are large, oversized vending machines that are visible from any right-of-way except for lanes, shall be placed at the side or the rear of the principal building within a historic district. The whole point is that they are not to be primarily visible from the public right-of-way. We would also like to note that there has been a language added here to clarify that this standard does not apply to magazine or newspaper racks. There's also a provision added here that except for if being designed for a drive-up use, there is a minimum of 4 feet access for pedestrians allowed for each one of these units. On this section, you can kind of see there's not a whole lot of revisions. Basically, all we're doing is under signs, there is a sentence added that sign illumination will be internal or shielded so as not to be directed towards any public right-of-way to reduce glare and light pollution. The language on this section is, again, anything in red is just to clean up and remove unnecessary language. This is also a repeat of what has been added on previous sections, where basically we are adding, the primary point here is that for the location of the outdoor vending units, such units shall be allowed only within, and then we are adding OIE and BN to the currently allowed BC, BM, ILT, IL, and IH zoning districts. That was the primary request by the applicant, and that seems to make sense since those are complementary zoning districts to the ones that are already allowed. If we move down to the item 4 here, such units which are not located immediately adjacent to the principal building, again, we're adding the language shall be shielded from vehicles by bollards or similar devices to help protect the users of such units. And then under the section specifically for ice vending units, there is language added to clarify a locational radius. Originally, there was a 300-foot radius to separate these vending units, and this is simply adding on to that comment that will say that that 300-foot radius is to be measured on the same side of major collector or arterial streets required as above. In terms of amending the development standards for these units, we are simply taking the concept that right now these need to be reviewed as a development plan, but we are now adding language that would allow the city manager or their designee to waive that in certain circumstances where it would be determined to be by right or per ordinance at their discretion. There is also language here added to revise the maintenance of trash and similar maintenance that is increasing that to be maintained every 3 to 4 days. Also, this is a duplicate of the signage from the previous section that basically, again, highlights that the illumination needs to be shielded to avoid glare and light pollution. The general background and theory on this is that, again, we're looking to expand the use of these oversized outdoor vending units to be allowed in OIE and the BN districts, and those are consistent with the currently allowed districts. In summary, the language has been simplified, revised, or added on related topics such as vehicular and pedestrian protection and signage to be consistent on both ordinances to relate to anything on the outdoor vending machines. In terms of the comp plan and Plan 2040, this aligns with economic development goal number 4, which includes and focuses on outreach and programs that lead to economically inclusive entrepreneurial growth through enhanced presence of small business opportunities and support services. The amendment's expansion into OIE and BN districts supports this by providing more locations for large-scale vending installations. Also under Economic Development Strategy E4.1, this calls for increasing the efficiency of permitting and licensing policies and for businesses through streamlined procedures. Basically, the proposed city manager waiver for site plan review is a procedural streamline consistent with that strategy. Land use goal number 5 aims to create safe, attractive, vibrant, and pedestrian-friendly streetscapes. The new requirement for bollards or for larger vending units supports this goal, and it's basically just to enhance safety and consumer public by codifying access distances and devices for pedestrian and vehicle protection. Continuing on, there is a quality of life goal number 4, which addresses food insecurity and access to healthy food. The expansion of vending machines and larger units into neighborhood districts supports local service availability in areas that community survey respondents have identified as lacking basic resources. Also, the GPS plan emphasizes implementing operational efficiencies and eliminating redundancy, providing administrative flexibility to waive site plan for minor installations, such as a vending unit on an already developed lot, removes a layer of costly and time-consuming and redundant review. So, in summary, the proposed amendment is highly consistent with the business-friendly ethos promoted by both guiding policy documents, and this amendment acts as a form of targeted deregulation to support small entrepreneurial ventures. Here's just a quick discussionary summary of the amendment. Again, this is for discussion and a second viewing in the future. Here are the key points to consider. The proposed amendments to these 2 sections expand automated vending services into the BN and OIE districts to improve local convenience and to reduce vehicular trips while mandating protective features such as bollards to ensure pedestrian safety. The updates also include more sustainable maintenance schedules for trash receptacles and new requirements for shielded signage lighting to preserve the aesthetic character of surrounding neighborhoods and to minimize light pollution. Finally, the clarified 300-foot separation requirement for the large vending machine units prevents clustering, ensuring that these structures do not create undue visual clutter within the local streetscape. So we believe, in coordination with the zoning administrator, that the applicant's request to expand the allowable zoning units are reasonable and consistent within current zoning policy, as well as Plan 2040 objectives and goals, as well as the overall intent of the ordinance. Are there any questions for staff on that?
Yeah, I've got one question. Do we notice businesses that are currently in operation doing these functions about the proposed change in ordinance? Like, do the current ice vending machine operators, are they aware of this change?
Well, I do know that the applicants specifically are looking to do this. And I think largely what you're seeing is that there are not, the areas that you're thinking of are not currently allowed to do so, which is why we're looking to add these sections.
Okay.
And if I may add, one of the things that this does is it expands the areas. The current operators that have the ice vending machines and things, they're located, if you notice, in already zoned commercial areas or at, on the out parcels right in front of a gas station or things along those lines. This allows a little bit more flexibility to make it a little bit more convenient for people that need to have large amounts of ice in this particular case, but it could be any type of vending a little bit closer to their neighborhood.
Yeah, I guess what I'm getting at is if the current operators are not part of this petition and they're not told that all of a sudden they have the ability to install in more locations, we're kind of doing a change specifically for one group in this particular business field.
Well, basically, that's why that's why we want to do 2 readings, but that's why you have a text amendment. What it does is it allows the opportunity for anybody that wants to apply to get an application, apply to get it, whether it's ice vending or whatever type of vending that fits within the criteria that's listed, to get that permit versus, it's not like a sole source text amendment. That's why we do a text amendment, because it opens it up for everybody that wants to have this type of use.
Yeah, I guess more what I was asking is in a text amendment like this that is pretty narrow in scope for industry, where you don't have a lot of industry participants there, if there's any public notice that they would see if they weren't looking for it.
The answer is the notice that they would see is the notice that we would do for any text amendment. We advertise it the same way. That's why we're doing 2 readings. And this isn't necessarily just for, I know we've talked about an ice machine, but it could be any type of vending that meets the criteria that we have as a component of this ordinance. It's already allowed in a number of places. It's just opening up the opportunity for it to be allowed in some other areas. But yeah, we follow the same process we would if we were doing a major text amendment to the whole document. So,
Gotcha. Right. Yes.
And to expand upon Mrs. Wilson's point, I do know that this applicant brought this forward specifically for their ice vending machines, and it's kind of listed on the title of the report. But as we were looking at this from a policy standpoint, this is meant to allow greater flexibility and innovation. So again, the applicant brought this forth specifically for an ice vending machine, but this would apply to any potential large-scale automated vending machine type. For example, we're starting to see the development of things like, have you run into the pizza automated vending machines?
I have not.
There's innovation that is potentially coming, and this will open up some of the zoning opportunities for that innovation to occur.
Okay. Ms. Bowles?
I've had some concern about why there was a restriction on viewing the machines only in the historic district so that it's not visible from right away. And I was trying to visualize where these machines would be used in the BN districts. I was thinking about the corner stores that have the smaller machines, but I can't imagine where they would be in the BN district. Can you give me some examples?
Well, the BN districts do tend to be rather diverse. Obviously, if you're talking about some of the historic districts, we did want to have language in there to make sure that we didn't start having 25 square foot or larger vending machines showing up in an historically inaccurate context. So that was why we kind of specifically did that language for historic districts.
and they would still have to get, and the historic district would still have, that's one of the things that the manager couldn't work, they'd still have to get a COA. With regards to, if this was going into any of the historic districts, they'd have to get a COA for that. If it's going into a neighborhood, if you feel, that's why this is before you as a board, if you feel that there is something that we didn't think about, you could very easily say that, you think that there should be more scrutiny. Right now, the city manager has the option, the way that this is written, to waive a site plan review. But it could be that whatever is being proposed has to fit within the context of the surrounding area. And if there's a contextual review, it's a little bit different. It doesn't have to meet historic standards, but it's not like somebody can put up a massive commercial vending machine or ice machine. I kind of hate that people come in with very specific language on applications, because this could be any type of vending machine, not just an ice machine, if you look at what's in the table of permitted uses.
Okay, and maybe that's the language that I'm looking for, fits in with the context. And I'm just thinking, for example, in that parking lot that's cat-a-corner to the arena, right? There's used to be, it was a church. I don't even know how you would make it not visible from the right-of-ways because it's wide open, but that would be unsightly.
Yes.
Right.
And I believe that's why we are listing these as needing to be adjacent to a principal structure.
And that might be in a historic district, yes?
Just made it.
Yeah, so I think it would, yeah, I got you, okay.
Any other questions for staff?
Yes, and it should be noted that these are not meant to be freestanding. They are meant to be associated with another use on the property.
Gotcha. Thank you. All right, so there's no vote on this one today. That will come back to us on the 21st, I believe. Is that correct, for a vote? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have item number 11, text amendment, section 5.17.5, development standards for permitted uses, and 9.5.4 buffers. And my understanding is that the county has...
We basically have received a request that this be postponed until the April 21st meeting, where we would come back with a presentation with this text amendment that addresses both city and county industrial buffers. And then from there, we'll go to the next steps with the recommendations going to each individual body, and that is so that we could have consistency among the buffer requirements. So this is an item that we're requesting be continued to the April 21st MPC meeting. We've already had one reading and presentation on this at the February 17th meeting, so that would be the second meeting.
And because we have both the county manager and the city manager here, are we in agreement with that, Mr. Melder?
Yes, I'm fine with that. The city is ready to move forward, and I think so as long as we're moving forward by the next meeting, then I'm good. This is, I know, something we've been working on with neighbors, and we're ready to get it across the finish line, so happy to, that we're close.
Thank you, Mr. Melder. Mr. Kegler, can you confirm we'll be ready for the 21st?
We will do our best.
Okay. Well, we're going to need, I think, procedurally a motion for that, correct?
Yes. Yes, if you make a motion that this be continued to the April 21st meeting, then the public will be noticed that that's when this will be heard. And I'm sure that the county will be ready to move forward so that we can get this moving to the next steps.
Okay. So we are at a point of making a motion.
So moved.
Bull second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Ms. Amick?
Yes.
Ms. Bowles?
Yes.
Mr. Urban?
Yes.
Ms. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Kegler?
Yes.
Mr. Melder?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Plunk?
Yes.
Did we lose Mr. Bosch? All right, Mr. Wywoody?
Yes.
I too vote yes. This will be continued to the April 21st meeting.
Mr. Chairman, could we get a determination on who made the motion, who seconded? We didn't
The
hear
motion
that.
was made by Ms.
Ms.
Jarrett
Jarrett.
and seconded by Ms. Bowles.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we have no more business on the agenda, so motion to adjourn. Second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right.
You were rocking such, yeah.